Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're not just touching on a topic. We're diving deep into a concept that could fundamentally change your entire health journey. If you've been struggling with your weight, if you're frustrated by fatigue, or if you're worried about chronic diseases, you need to hear this. We're talking about insulin resistance, what it is, why it's a global epidemic, and most importantly, how we can practically and sustainably reverse it. This isn't just about weight loss. This is about improving your longevity, dramatically reducing your risk of chronic disease, and reclaiming your vitality. To help us unpack this vital information, we're tapping into the profound insights of a phenomenal guest from a recent podcast, Dr. Benjamin Bikman. He's a renowned metabolic research scientist and the author of the groundbreaking book, Why We Get Sick. This is the masterclass you've been waiting for. Get ready, because once you truly understand these concepts, they're going to change your life. Understanding fat cells and the role of insulin. Before we can even begin to talk about insulin resistance, Dr. Bikman urges us to completely rethink what we believe about fat cells. For far too long, the common wisdom has been that fat cells are nothing more than passive, inert storage containers, like a simple bank account for calories. You eat too many calories, you make a deposit. You burn more calories than you eat, you make a withdrawal. But Dr. Bikman's research reveals a truth that is far more nuanced and powerful. Fat cells are not just storage depots. They are active, living endocrine organs. They secrete their own powerful hormones and inflammatory proteins that influence every single part of your body. And the master regulator of this entire process is a hormone you've undoubtedly heard of: insulin. Here's the central game-changing takeaway from Dr. Bikman's work that you need to remember above all else. You cannot make a fat cell grow unless insulin is elevated. Your body can be swimming in a sea of calories, but if insulin is low, that fat cell simply won't grow. Conversely, you can't make a fat cell shrink unless insulin is low. Insulin's presence acts like a lock on your fat cells, preventing them from releasing stored energy even if there's a caloric deficit. This single biological principle is a revolutionary perspective that shifts our focus from just counting calories to intelligently managing the hormones that truly control fat storage and release. The epidemic of insulin resistance. So, what exactly is insulin resistance? Dr. Bikman explains it as a condition where your body's cells, especially your muscle, liver, and fat cells, become less and less responsive to insulin. This happens because insulin levels are persistently high, a constant, elevated state known as hyperinsulinemia. Your pancreas, trying to get the job done, is forced to work overtime, pumping out more and more insulin to achieve the same effect, creating a vicious and unsustainable cycle. This isn't a rare or a niche condition. Dr. Bikman doesn't just call it common, he calls it a full-blown epidemic, estimating that it affects a staggering up to 88% of adults in the US alone. He explains that this resistance is actually a brilliant, albeit problematic, survival mechanism. When your fat cells have grown so big that they're at their limit, they become insulin resistant to prevent themselves from literally exploding. However, in doing so, they start to leak fat and inflammatory proteins, which then spreads this insulin resistance to other vital tissues throughout your body. This is a key driver behind the explosion of chronic diseases we see today, well beyond just diabetes. How to tell if you're insulin resistant? The physical signs and lab tests. Insulin resistance can be a silent condition for many years, but your body is always giving you clues. Dr. Bikman highlights some simple, yet incredibly powerful, observable indicators. Excess belly fat. This isn't just about weight, it's about fat distribution. That stubborn, hard-to-lose fat around your midsection is one of the most common physical signs of insulin resistance. High blood pressure, hypertension, insulin resistance is, according to Dr. Bikman, the single most common explanation for high blood pressure. Insulin's failure to regulate blood vessel function is a key contributor. Skin tags. Those small, benign growths on your skin are not random. They are a direct result of high insulin levels stimulating the growth of skin cells. Acanthosis nigricans. This is the medical term for darker, rougher, or thicker patches of skin, often found on the neck, armpits, or groin. Again, this is a clear sign that high insulin levels are overstimulating melanin and skin cell production. Erectile dysfunction in men and polycystic ovarian syndrome (PCOS) in women. Both of these are linked directly to insulin's failure to regulate blood vessel function and hormonal balance, making them powerful indicators of underlying metabolic dysfunction. For a definitive clinical diagnosis, Dr. Bikman urges you to ask your doctor for a fasting insulin test. This is the gold standard for measuring insulin resistance, but it's often overlooked in favor of a standard glucose test. He also recommends a triglyceride to HDL ratio of 1.5 or lower as an excellent and simple at-home indicator of good insulin sensitivity. Dr. Bikman's 4 pillars to reverse insulin resistance. The great news is that insulin resistance can be reversed. This isn't a life sentence. Dr. Bikman offers a powerful, 2-pronged approach that's both effective and sustainable. Lower stress and lower insulin. To lower stress, he emphasizes the critical importance of improving your sleep, as poor sleep can almost instantly spike cortisol and insulin, rapidly leading to resistance. But the most powerful and direct changes come from how you eat. Dr. Bikman has simplified this into 4 fundamental pillars for lowering insulin through diet and lifestyle. Pillar 1. Control carbohydrates. This is the single most powerful lever you have for controlling your insulin. The more carbohydrates you eat, the more your blood glucose and insulin levels will rise. Dr. Bikman's advice isn't to eliminate carbs entirely, but to be highly strategic. He suggests focusing on whole food carbohydrates found in a wide variety of non-starchy vegetables and certain fruits, which come with fiber and nutrients. At the same time, you should be extremely skeptical of grains and especially processed sugars and refined starches. These are the primary culprits behind repeated aggressive insulin spikes that drive insulin resistance. So, think less about bread and cereal, and more about vibrant leafy greens, berries, and cruciferous vegetables. Pillar 2. Prioritize protein. This is the second most important macronutrient for controlling insulin and building a healthy body. Dr. Bikman urges us to prioritize high-quality protein, especially from animal sources. He explains that animal proteins have a better amino acid profile and are more bioavailable than many plant-based proteins. Additionally, they often come without the anti-nutrients that can be present in some plant foods. Protein is absolutely essential for building and maintaining muscle, which, as we discussed, is the most metabolically active tissue in your body and a primary consumer of glucose. Think about making a high-quality protein source, the centerpiece of every meal, whether that's eggs, fish, chicken, or red meat. Pillar 3. Fill with fat. This pillar is crucial for satiety and metabolic health. Healthy fats, particularly from animal sources, avocados, olives, and coconuts, are vital. The key here is understanding that fat has virtually no effect on insulin. When you eat fat, your body doesn't need to release insulin to store it, which is exactly what we want. This helps keep insulin levels low, allowing your fat cells to release energy. Conversely, Dr. Bikman strongly advises against industrial seed oils like soybean, canola, and corn oil, which he links to increased inflammation and poor metabolic health. So, embrace healthy fats for flavor, satiety, and hormonal balance. Pillar 4. Watch the clock. This last pillar is about when you eat, not just what you eat. Dr. Bikman recommends practicing intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating. This is simply a period of time each day where you don't eat, giving your body a much-needed and extended break from constantly elevated insulin. When insulin levels are low, your body is finally able to switch into fat-burning mode and repair cells. Even a simple 12-hour overnight fast can be beneficial, but extending that to 14 or 16 hours can have a profound impact on your insulin sensitivity. It's about creating a true off period for your metabolism. And finally, one last non-negotiable tip from Dr. Bikman. Movement. Get up and move your body. Muscle contractions, especially from activities like walking, can pull glucose into cells without the need for insulin. This is a direct, powerful way to improve your insulin sensitivity and make your body more efficient at managing blood sugar. Dr. Bikman's work is a powerful, paradigm-shifting reminder that our body's hormones, particularly insulin, are the true puppet masters behind our health. By understanding them, we can make informed choices that lead to real, lasting health. It's not about unsustainable deprivation or fighting against your body. It's about working with your body to create a state of metabolic health. I genuinely hope these detailed insights have empowered you and provided you with a clear roadmap. If you want to learn more, I highly recommend checking out Dr. Bikman's book, Why We Get Sick. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to hear this message. We'd love to have you in our community. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.